What's going on, Commonwealth, and welcome back to another great episode of the Bluegrass Soccer Cast, your home for all things soccer, right here in the beautiful state of Kentucky. I'm, of course, Mr. Jimmy. That's Mr. John. John, how we doing today, sir?
I'm good, Jimmy. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good, my friend. Let's get another awesome icebreaker question out of the way here. What is your favorite movie genre to watch? Wow, big,
It depends
big
on what's
sigh.
considered like a genre,
Uh huh.
because I do like comedies and stuff, but I like gravitate towards like just sports movies in general.
I feel that. I'm a big sports movie guy, but I also thoroughly enjoy Marvel and Star Wars as well. So if you're looking for somebody to talk Marvel and Star Wars with, that's me. But John, with all of that out of the way, let's dive on into things. And for today's show, we kind of got a little bit of a grab bag for off the top here. There's not a whole lot of major news to talk about, so just some different things that have popped up on our radar over the last couple of days to weeks here. First off, Lexington Sporting Club has a brand new partnership. This with Money Watch Advisory. Lexington Sporting Club has announced a new partnership with Money Watch Advisory as they are the official wealth management partner of Lexington Sporting Club. Money Watch Advisory is a locally registered investing advisory based firm in Lexington, Kentucky. They practice or I'm sorry, this partnership shows the highlighting the growth and the marketability of soccer in Lexington. The ownership group of Lexington Sporting Club believes that this partnership is to improve both players and fans' financial literacy and financial responsibilities. Money Watch Advisory provides financial planning, investing, and management services to the club and to the players, and now to you as fans. So, John, as a fan of Lexington Sporting Club, does this even cross your radar? Does this kind of a partnership mean anything to you? Or what are your thoughts on this one?
As a sports fan in general, I really could care less about what random company is paying to be affiliated with a team.
I feel that.
Does it draw me towards them? Maybe. Subconsciously, maybe. But what? They're an accounting firm,
More like,
like a financial
yeah,
advisor.
like a
Like,
wealth
yeah, they're a
management thing.
financial advisor. Yeah. So like, I've never heard of them before. I might look into them if I'm wanting to look into stuff like that, but I really could care less about this stuff. It's more, it's if it makes the team more money. That's really all I care about.
And that's the thing that I'm interested in most. Like, yes, they're going to be getting advisory services right from them, but they're not like a kit sponsor. They didn't, the articles that I read about it didn't mention even a shoulder sponsor or anything. So is this just an in-kind sponsorship kind of a thing, or what is this money getting
It could
them?
be like it could be like they're gonna help with the like contracts and stuff like that.
Maybe, help keeping those legal and keeping those within financial boundaries of the club, right? I almost wondered if maybe this was somebody in consideration to name the stadium. Just a thought.
I really hope it's not
You don't want the wealth
because
management stadium?
like here's my thing, like Lynn family,
Mm-hmm.
like I know that's not like an actual family per se. I know it is, but at the same time, it's a
Right.
company. So I would prefer one like a either a more local thing with Lexington, and it could be local. I'm not really sure.
Yeah. They're a
Um,
firm started in and based in Lexington.
okay, so I'd be okay with that, but at the same time, like I feel like it should be this something that more like is normal or flows off the tongue. type thing a little
You
easier.
mean Money Watch Advisory Wealth Management Stadium doesn't sound like that doesn't just roll off your tongue?
I just don't. The fact that they're called Money Watch is what I don't like.
Yeah, it seems like
If it
a
was
bit
like the
cringy.
founder's name or
Hmm.
something like that, like what's the big like Schwab
Schwab,
Schwab
yeah,
yeah. If it was like them, I'm fine
or
with that because it's not
TIAA.
Money Watch. Like nah,
They have a stadium,
like where
Jacksonville. That's the NFL stadium, TIAA Stadium. Is it Bank State? Maybe TIAA Bank Stadium. It may just be the banking division of TIAA.
yeah, I think it's the bank.
Yeah. Well, I think it's pretty cool. I really hope that they have a great partnership. You know, I think financial literacy is something that is very important to me. I grew up not very well off, we'll say, very poor. So I think any additional literacy on how to manage your money it can't hurt. So moving on, there are a couple of announcements that have come out this week about some the teams that are coming to the USL in the next couple of years. The first one is just more information on a team we already know about. Northern Arkansas has released new renderings for their stadium, as well as they're asking for fan support on choosing a name. So, just kind of a brief refresher. There are two new professional soccer teams, one for the men, one for the women, that are coming to Rogers, Arkansas. So we officially know where the team will be, which is in Rogers. And I've got a few things pulled up here. Chrome tab. So just kind of looking at where things are, right, John? Um, so down here is Fayetteville, which is where the University of Arkansas is, and up here is Bentonville, and that's the home of Walmart, right? Rogers is right
Mm-hmm.
here, kind of in between, but right next to where like the Walmart headquarters and the founding of Walmart is. So just generally speaking, on that northwest corridor of Arkansas. Oh, I
Okay.
didn't turn it on. Sorry, I was drawing all over the place and I forgot to do that. But yeah, so Fayetteville down at the bottom here, Rogers in the middle, Bentonville up a little bit higher there. Um, so as you're kind of thinking about that location, does that change anything for you, John? That it's not in like a
There's
major
what?
city per se?
No.
Okay, I didn't think it would. Let's look at
One, they are a regional based. Their name is regional, unless they call themselves like the Rogers, whatever.
no.
That'd be a little different.
I will
Um,
talk about the name here in just a second, but here are just a couple of images that they have released. Just kind of let me know your thoughts on them as we click through. There are four different images. To me, this outside of the stadium is very generic. Looks vaguely European. I wonder if they are going to go with this black and gold color scheme, though. Wait, was that a marching band? Hold on. Yeah.
yeah, that's a marching band.
Huh. So I wonder if they're gonna have like a marching band, and then on the other side over here, you can see like the traditional like drum line.
I think it's just generic things that the graphic designer placed
Yeah.
in.
Well, this
Uh,
might be the best of the graphic design elements because here you can kind of start to see the stadium. It's gonna have that one big
I
stand
personally,
with
this looks
the
stupid.
my Siri. I swear to
I
God.
This to me, right, what I'm seeing right now, it looks stupid.
Yeah, it's got the one stand with the partial roof over it, right, and then the rest is open.
Really low. Like I'm fine with open, but like this just looks so. It just looks too generic. It
It
has no
does.
like
It has
character.
absolutely no character. And especially this graphic, this looks really bad. Like, not to say that I can do any better. I can't. But like it just doesn't look like quality.
I don't. Here's the thing. I don't see the need of put like when you do designs and stuff like that. I don't see the need of putting people
Mm-hmm.
and stuff because like that. Why are you putting like people walking around and
Well,
stuff?
and it is
Like
to
they
show like
like I
space
get why
there.
they do it. I get why they do it, but like they have someone in a wheelchair here.
Yeah. Uh,
And that's fine. It should be like by law they have to be ADA
right.
accessible. But like is like are the players playing and it's not it looks like they're lining up for a corner
But
kick, but there's
no one at the
there's
corner.
no corner.
The thing I hate the most is this confetti. What are we doing? Why we got confetti everywhere?
I
And then here's kind of
don't
the
know.
money shot here, the aerial view of the stadium. It looks like it's going to fit in really well with the current landscape. I don't know what is, there. I mean, clearly there's a hotel right next to it, and probably another one down in the other corner here. But yeah,
See, this shot makes me like this shot does not match the last shot.
yeah, it does. This is
Or
right in
or
the
sorry,
corner.
they've never shown the opposite side of the
Yeah,
grandstand
that far side.
because
Well,
when they
you can
it looks
kind of
like
see
if
it
you go
down here.
back to the you go kind of if you go back to the aerial shot,
Hmm.
um, there is like this break in that side, and it looks like there's just flat stands.
Yeah, I don't quite know what those are. If you're looking down here on the very bottom of the image here, you can see clearly like a picnic area and like a hangout space. They what appears to be like shipping containers, recycled shipping containers that they're using for some stuff, which I'm all about. Recycled material, right? Like save our planet, blah blah blah. But it just has no personality.
It's so like, and it's lower league, so it's gonna be generic, but you need to have some personality
Yeah,
going for you.
yeah. I don't know about that one, but to the rest of the story here. The teams will begin play again in 2026. The USL champion side. So this isn't a League One, John. This is USL champion level. So Lou City is going to be playing there in 26. And it will be home to a USL Super League team. So for the women, the what should be competing with the NWSL. Overall, the stadium will have 77,500 seats. Almost at 75,000. That would be a few too many. Um, and then back to your question earlier about the name, right? The organization has asked the public to suggest names for them. I think if we're going to do it, why not throw our name? Or if they're going to do it, why don't we throw our names in the hat, John? What would you name the Northwest Arkansas um, USL champion team?
Oh, I have no idea. I am not. Well, honestly, like Northwest FC, something
Hmm.
like that. The I don't think they should go like Northwest Arkansas. 'Cause that's just a long name.
Could you go Noark,
But Northwest,
like NO.ARK, Noark FC? But then I guess
I
the
mean, yeah,
religious people probably wouldn't
that's
like that
just
though.
that's like NoCo.
Yeah,
But that's just gonna be like NoCo. They're gonna be Northwest Arkansas.
yeah.
So just throw on an FC or an SC or whatever they want
I'm sure there
on
is
the
an
end. And
Arkansas FC, right? There would have
let me look.
some club has to have that name.
There's an FC Arkansas.
Okay, so maybe you go Arkansas SC or something. That's just super generic.
Yeah, and they have a team that competes. There's Arkansas Wolves who compete in the NWSL, NPSL, UPSL, and Midwest Premier League.
Hmm.
Which I don't know how you're competing in all three of those.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, it could be different teams, I guess.
I don't see how. I don't understand someone feeling a side in all three of those
Yeah, no,
leagues.
I don't either. Maybe they've different types
That
of times of year they're competing in different ones.
that's the only thing I can think of. But like, imagine trying to be like a sporting director and having to deal with all those different league rules and policies. Like we eat. Lex has two sporting directors already,
Mm-hmm.
so it'll be interesting.
So I have a couple of names. I have not spent much time thinking about this. Just full honesty, I have not spent a whole lot of time thinking on this. So I have three names that popped into my head here. One would be Great Value FC, because of Walmart, right? Um, no, John doesn't like that one. Okay. Uh, go a little more generic and just go Arkansas FC or something like that. Or what I'm thinking more likely is FC Ozarks or Ozark FC or something like that. Just tying it into the popularity of
Eh,
that show, the region, and they're kind of far from the Ozarks, honestly. But I don't think from an outside perspective you're gonna notice or care that much difference.
some of the suggestions on Reddit are like Arkansas United, which we'll say is too generic.
Yes,
NWAFC,
which is kind of what you said.
uh, yeah, Highlanders FC, Ozarks FC.
Hey, there we go.
Oh, apparently there's already an Ozark FC in the
Damn it.
MPSL. Or no, they changed names. I don't know. No, those are stupid. There is like they're the Diamond State and the Nature State, so I could see them doing something off of that. Uh, but yeah, I think that they're just gonna go an FC route. Honestly, I don't. United, I would be fine with, but
I could see him going more SC. I don't know. There's something about the South that I feel like SC might resonate more and might feel more unique. But I'm pulling at straws here.
but here's my thing with uniqueness and stuff is like there doesn't need to be like they don't need to have a name. Like your crest can have something in it
Mm-hmm.
if you want, but you don't need to have a nickname. You don't need to be the Red Wolves.
But
You don't need to be the like Tormenta
South
or whatever it
Georgia
is.
Tormenta or whatever, right? Like they should just be Tormenta.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I am fine with location and FC.
Mm-hmm.
What I don't like is doing like location, nickname, and FC. Just either be the FC, whatever you want to be in your location. You don't need to add in all this stuff.
So with that, if you have name suggestions for them, make sure you drop it in the comment section of this video on Twitter, X, whatever, as well as on YouTube. We'd love to see your thoughts as well, and we might even highlight some of them here on the show. But John, with that, we'll move to our final kind of update. A new USL League One team was announced, being Antelope Valley. They have announced a USL League One
Which
and a
is
W team.
which is Lancaster,
Yep.
California, which is about 2 hours east of Santa Barbara,
Yeah,
like directly.
which is strange. Like it would seem like direct competition, right?
Well, this seems like this is one. California is stupid weird. That whole area of LA. That whole area of LA. What they have Orange County. They have two LA MLS
Yep.
teams. There's the LA Force of Nisa.
Uh-huh.
I think there's another LA team in the championship, or LA based esque team. I would have to double check. You have Santa Barbara.
Mhm.
Like it's just there's so much like traffic or whatever there, and the population density is so thick. Like the population of Los Angeles County is over like certain states.
I'm sure there are more
So
people in LA County than are in Kentucky. Like, just for example.
Southern California.
If we're doing all of Southern California, including San Diego, then
There
yeah.
is 24 million people in Southern California.
Yeah, there's like 4 in Kentucky, maybe 5.
And the Southern California is starting like very much above where this is at. So I'm not worried about the territory rights thing or competing against each other. It creates a close natural rival.
Mm-hmm.
They're they're a little closer than Lex and Knox.
Right.
Uh, this seems like this exists solely because there's already a soccer specific. There's a baseball stadium there that's no longer been used.
Yep.
That you're planning to reconfigure.
And that's this stadium right here, Lancaster Municipal Stadium. Yeah. And these renderings, unlike the Arkansas ones, actually have a little bit of personality to it. It seems like a smaller version of the what am I trying to say? Tampa.
They are editing a baseball stadium.
Right.
So I like that they're keeping that curve.
Yeah, I think it's a nice corner.
Yeah, but they're like changing the outfield.
Mm-hmm.
However, my issue is that they've already named their supporters.
Oh, did they? I missed that. What did they name them?
Lancaster Municipal Stadium will feature a traditional standing-only supporters section behind the north goal, the future home of the club's most fervent fans, 661. So does that mean there's only going to be 661 seats? Because LA FC did that, and that's like their supporter union is called like the 3252, and that's how many seats or people can fit in that section, which is fine, right? But there was already like supporter groups existing when they announced that. And that was like the union is called that. But the fact of like this team has nothing else and they've already named
the supporter section,
at least a section. So I don't know. And they're going to kick off. So we're going to get a crest in March. Or all that stuff in March, and then they're planning to kick off in 2025, which means in the span of 2 seasons, the league will have added 5 teams.
Which is great for the growth of the USL, right?
Yes, that is good, but I'm curious what else is going to be there, because that is not that'd be 16 if Chattanooga stays.
Well, and they have talked about going up, so
they should not go up. I don't
not.
see a reason for them to go up. They're not big enough to go up. North Carolina made sense. They self-relegated. They were already up 1 point in time. The Red Wolves have never been up and stuff, but they got some stupid rich ownership group.
Well, I almost wondered if they do get to move up, right? I wondered if it was a play to get more fans and to feel like they have more of a fan base than what is it? Chattanooga FC.
Chattanooga. Here's the issue with Chattanooga Red Wolves. The issue is not the league you play in.
Right.
The issue is that you walked in and put a secondary team in Chattanooga, which is not that big of a city.
No.
And with one of the better supported and more like iconic / cult following clubs in lower U.S. soccer. That's Chattanooga Red Wolves' issue. It's not where they are. It's that whole like shebang and tension thing within the city. Chattanooga, like as much as I would love for them to like compete against each other, it's not a big enough city really to support 2 teams.
No. Well, and I was telling you, the other day, like I saw more Chattanooga FC stuff than I did Red Wolves. So, I don't know, man. But kind of closing things up here on Antelope Valley. I hope they keep that name. I think it's a dope name. That whole region has over 500,000 people.
Lancaster.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, and also, who names their team after their stadium? You name the stadium after the team.
Well, no, that's Lancaster is the city.
Yes,
and the
my bad.
stadium was just that's the municipal stupid naming thing, which basically just means this is a city stadium. It's not like
Owned by the
owned by.
city.
That's literally what municipal means. Is like the city owns it.
Yeah.
So I also expect that name to change.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll change to something, but like I said, I hope Antelope Valley. I think that's dope. I would love to say, Lexington FC is traveling out to Antelope Valley this weekend to play the Herd or something like that. That sounds awesome.
And just keep no, don't even name it Antelope Valley.
Yeah.
Antelope Valley FC.
I was thinking more of like the Herd is like a nickname for like the supporter section. Then I remembered, no, they've already named them, but
It's already picked. They're
whatever.
the 661, which let me see. Maybe that's the area
That's kind of
code.
what I assumed. But you know what they say about assuming.
Okay, that is the area code of that region. Which, yeah, the It's okay. So they're in the same vicinity. They're Lancaster's a little south of like Bakersfield.
Okay. Well,
So they're in the same area code of that. And okay, that's even more stupid.
why?
Naming your supporter group or area after the area code.
That doesn't feel far from like something that Kentucky would do, like the 270. Like I could absolutely see like Bowling Green if they ever got a USL team calling the supporter
Listen,
section the
like
270.
I'm fine with doing deals related to
Uh
that
huh.
and that sort of thing. But if like Lex tries to look at us and like we're gonna call y'all the 859, and I'm gonna look at them and be like, nope. Go back to the drawing board. Think of something else. I'm not calling that section the 859.
No,
Well, unless you physically build it so that 859 people fit in there.
no, that would
I
be
will
cool.
accept
That
that.
would be cool.
I would accept that. But if there is like, well, it's actually like 1,000, I'll be like,
Nope.
nope, go back to the
Yep.
drawing board.
Start over. Retry. Hmm. Well, from two USL stories to another, to kind of close out off the top for today, according to an article from essentiallysports.com, whoever that is, I had not heard of them before this. The USL is looking to move closer to a European model as far as promotion and relegation goes. The USL champion president acknowledged that promotion and relegation creates drama and storylines similar to European soccer. He indicated that the USL championship is contemplating introducing promotion and relegation between itself and its lower leagues. And none of this is new, right? Like we've talked about this before, but just hearing continual conversations from USL officials to me is encouraging that this may happen. The shift would, we all know, like I don't need to sit here and recite some of the things from this article or things that we've already talked about in previous shows, right? Like this would dramatically change soccer in the United States, and it would the U.S. Soccer Federation would have to fundamentally change how it ranks and how it classifies some of the leagues, right? So, in short,
I
go
don't.
for it.
I don't know if the U.S. soccer would have to reclassify per se.
Potentially, though, like
If
if the USL
it's the
champion,
USL doing it
mm-hmm.
themselves, if they're going for D1 sanctioning, that's one thing. But
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
if they're literally gonna do, I listen. I don't see them getting D1 sanctioning
Not even if they created a new
off
top
the
league
bat.
of like the USL Premier.
Off the off the bat, I
Oh,
don't
okay.
see them getting it. I see U.S. soccer going. Let's see how this works for 3 years,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree. I don't
and
think it's going to be a 1 year
then they
change.
can go like, all right, now you can either add a league or you can just move every league up one. Because I could see them doing 2, 3, 4, and like
Mm.
the fourth is like true semi-pro, like the National League regional regions in England.
So kind of,
I think National League is even considered technically semi-professional.
hmm.
Technically, like it's everyone views it as full professional, but I think by the way that they're
Uh
paid,
huh.
a lot of them still have side jobs, so like people consider that
Is
semi-professional.
that what? Sorry, I again not the most familiar with all that. Is that where Wrexham was? Yeah, and then they got bumped up to League
So
Two, right?
yeah, so the English Football League is only the um, top four levels.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of that is still is still in the pyramid, but it's not the football league.
Right.
So, and that's another thing when if you ever deal with people who talk about teams folding and stuff. A lot of English teams like Burley, like Southend United, they folded because they just fell too far down and they had no money left.
Right.
That they're not top flight teams folding. They're not top four division teams folding. They are teams of that just crumbled down and didn't have any more money left.
Yeah. I don't think that. I agree with you, John. I don't think this is going to be something where in the next year or so that it's gonna come across as okay. Now you're a D1 sanctioned and you get to be the top with the MLS. But I did see something. Someone had a theoretical MLS USL on down model that used the Open Cup as a model. Did you see that?
I did not see that.
I may have
Um,
had a fever dream about it as well, but who knows? So it was some version of you take the current U.S. Open Cup model and you put everybody into like regional pods and you play each other, once a week on say every Wednesday or something like that, and then you go back to league play on the weekends to start the at the beginning of the season. What are your thoughts on that one? I didn't include it in our rundown, but what are your thoughts on a format like that?
regional pro rel, basically.
Kinda. I didn't. I don't remember how the article ended. If it ended with saying that this was going to be pro rel, or if this was going to be just like a revamped U.S. Open Cup.
If listen, I don't like regional. I'm fine with Open Cup region stuff
Yeah, which is
as
basically what they're
long as
doing
they
now.
also as long as they do if it's like same teams are going to get paired up constantly, they need to be flipping a lot. And I'm also a stand of the bigger team should always go to the lower league team
Agreed.
type stuff. But like Lex and Lou, if they're going to be playing each other every year, I'm fine with that flipping.
Yes.
That's different. Um,
Yeah, I agree with you. I think if we're gonna have, I mean, let's just look in Kentucky, right? Like, let's say a Kentucky region. You could include Cincinnati, Lexington, Louisville. Um, so if we're gonna do something like that, right, it could be Lexington, Louisville, Cincinnati, Nashville, and like Bowling Green, right? So that would be five different teams that could play all in one um, kind of region. If we did something like that, you played round robin, Bowling Green at FC Cincinnati, Lexington and Nashville, Louisville, and let's pull a 16. Let's say Tennessee Tempo as well, right? So we have an even kind of round robin, three matches every time. I think it'd be really cool. I think you'd get some great matchups. I think we would get some really interesting home and aways. um, but you may even have to kind of cut some of those teams before Bowling Green and Tempo may have to get in to play with Louisville, Lexington, Nashville, Indianapolis, and Cincinnati or something like that, right?
yeah. Um, mm. It's gonna be interesting how they do it and stuff. The thing is, it's all this speculation stuff people are throwing out. I just want to see it happen, see what they do and what they put out. But I just want to see it happen. Like all these people are just speculating at this point. And like I did the same with mine. And so like it's just people throwing ideas at the wall, and we have no idea what's gonna stick.
Yeah, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know where things are going to go. But hey, you know what? We're along for the ride, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, with that, John, that will end our kind of off the top segment for this week. And now we will head to the bottom line. We have three big matchups this weekend to preview. John, let's start with Lexington hosting North Carolina FC for the last home match of the inaugural season. John, I said it the other day when we were talking about it. I don't think that Lexington is going to be playing for the win, but maybe they surprise us and they do, right? How do you think this one's going to start, and how do you think it's going to finish?
They are gonna play for the win. I will say that they will play for the win.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm curious though is like how what they're gonna trot out in terms of team wise, because this is a team that North Carolina we haven't played since June, like mid June,
Mm-hmm.
and our first matchup where we lost to them was in the first in was in April, the beginning of April. So this is a very much this we haven't faced North Carolina since like our big revamp. So it's going to be real interesting how this goes because we did get a comeback draw against them back in June, but they are battling for the Players Shield. Currently, Omaha is tied with them on points because they're playing right now, and Omaha is tied. But North Carolina is kind of hit or miss. They've lost to Tormenta lately, but they've had three shutout wins, but then they drew North against Omaha. So it's gonna be interesting to see what they trot out in this matchup. I I don't expect Lexington to just kind of give up and go into it. So but I don't see North Carolina just kind of cruising, maybe playing younger guys possibly. It's gonna be real interesting.
Yeah, I agree. I think I kind of misspoke there. I don't. I think Lexington is going to be going for the victory, right? Like I think it's going to be really important for Coach Nacho as the season is closing to get his first win this year and not have to potentially push that to next year if he is given the opportunity to be the permanent coach, right? I just think North Carolina has way too much on the line. Yes, things are different for Lexington than it was the last time they played. I just don't know how um, Lexington is gonna face this onslaught from North Carolina. Looking at their last five here, undefeated in the last five, four wins, one draw in that 2-0 three. Oh no, that was a loss. Did have a loss. My apologies. I read it backwards. They had a loss 3-2 to South Georgia. But then they beat Fuego 3-0, beat North Carolina 2-0, drew with Omaha, which is probably their biggest thorn in the side right now because if they had won that match, they'd probably be clear enough on points that they would already have the shield, right?
I don't think they would have already had the
Hmm.
shield, even if they won that, because they would only be right now 2 points ahead of Omaha.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Including
no,
tonight's
they
match.
would. Yeah,
They'd be three clear
yes,
entering
they would
tonight.
only. Yeah, so it'd be interesting how it goes and stuff. It's what North Carolina trots out. Do they really care about the player shield, or do they care about home field advantage? Which I don't know if they do because they're a much better team away from home.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they are, I believe, the top team away from home. They have 32. They have 10 wins at home or on the road. They only have 7 wins at home. through the same amount of matches. I do believe. Let me double check that.
Should
Yes,
be.
through the same amount of matches. They allow more goals. They score better on the road. They have 32 points on the road versus just 25 at home. So they're much better on the road. So North Carolina might be like, well, we'll take a road. We'll take maybe second or third and have a road matchup.
Oof, I don't know. I just think you if you can play to get the number one seed, I think you do. And I don't think there's any reason to take their foot off the gas. I fully expect North Carolina to come in with their hair on fire and just see what can happen. I mean, if you look at their
I
other,
don't see them doing that because that's how you can prepare. If you don't have to put your foot on the gas when you have playoffs secured, you shouldn't. You can put like half away because here's the thing: I would much rather win the championship than the Shield.
yeah, I'm not worried about the
So,
Shield.
am I gonna?
I'm
But
more
that's what I'm saying.
I'm more worried about like if you have a chance to get the number one seed, I think you lock it up.
That's the Shield.
Well,
That's the Shield.
yes, I guess.
But that's what I'm saying. They should care more about the championship than the Shield. Like, why risk losing Olex Anderson, telling him to go all out, try to get every score, or Raphael, and then you're down both your leading
Right.
scorers for the playoffs?
I mean, I get it. I understand that, but I just think at least for the first half, go guns a blazing, get up 2-0, and then put the pressure on Lex. Can they come back again to get another? So I'm getting some weird feedback. My apologies. Um, we get another comeback victory or a comeback draw.
Well, we've scored first in both matches, so we'll see how it goes.
Absolutely. So, John, I'm going to officially go on the record. I'm going to say North Carolina wins. I'm going to take them 2-0 over Lexington. What say you, sir?
I think it's going to be like a 1-1 draw.
So, matching the efforts from earlier this year, right?
Similar, yeah, but I don't think
It
North
was 2
Carolina is
2.
going to be able to score 2 goals twice or 3 times on
Yeah.
us.
It'd be kind of impressive if they did, though. All right, then, John, let's move on over to Racing Louisville as they get set to. That's not what I wanted. SL. They are set to. That's also not what I wanted. What is going on with my notes? Everything is technically weird this week. Racing
But,
Louisville versus Orlando in the last home game for
mhm.
Racing this year. When you're looking at this one, both teams fighting for playoff seeding. Orlando currently in seventh, tied with OL Reign, who are in sixth. The only difference right there is goal differential, +2 for OL Reign, -1 for Orlando. So Orlando can, if they come in and walk out with a 2-3-0 victory, can really boost their chances. But Racing is in 10th, only 4 points back of the OL Reign, and if they got a victory, they have a better goal differential than Orlando. Um, so any victory, 1-0, 2-0, anything, they're automatically going above them. So this is setting up to be a really interesting matchup. Both teams entering on complete opposites of each other. Racing in their last three is 1 victory, 2 losses. Orlando is 2 victories, 1 loss. So teams coming in at opposite directions. John, how do you think this one is going to go?
This is going to be a real interesting one
Yes.
because both teams, these are 2 teams that will be putting the pedal to the
Oh yeah,
floor.
because they have to.
Because both, yes, they have to. So, Racing's good at home.
Very good. Ask Portland.
it's going to be a very interesting game. These kind of all out games where both sides are going to come into it going all out are always interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it could end up in like a 0-0 draw.
Ooh, no, I don't want that. I think
I'm
racing.
not saying I want that. I think it could end up like that.
I think racing's got the better attack. I think racing has got a better defense and a better keeper. I'm going to take racing to walk out of this one with their head held high after a very hard fought victory. I'm going to take racing 2-1 over Orlando to close out their home slate, which would be a big boost to their playoff chances. But, I've predicted them to win the last couple of matches, and, well, we all know how that went.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll then kind of pivot, John, to our final team here today to preview, and that is, of course, our Lexington. Oh, I knew I was going to do it. I knew I was going to mess up, and I tried to correct myself before I did it, and I still fumbled. Lou City to close us out today. Currently in fifth place in the overall standings in the Eastern Conference of the USL Champion. They have their next to last home game against Hartford. And Hartford has been, well denoted as abysmal. They're currently sitting in 12th in the very last spot in the Eastern Conference final. They're in a tussle tonight, though, 2-2 with Rio Grande Valley as it stands. So, Hartford midweek game with Rio Grande Valley, then coming to Louisville this weekend. This is a must win, and this is also number 2, almost a guaranteed victory, right, John?
No. You curse again. Don't you curse these teams again.
Come
I
on,
don't.
this is a
Nothing is
must win.
guaranteed.
This is a
Nothing.
guaranteed.
It is a must win, but nothing's a
Put the
guarantee.
W on there. Give them all 3 points.
And now they're gonna lose by like they're gonna get blown out, and it's gonna be because of your little curse.
4-0 Hartford, right?
If you want to actually lock that in, that might be okay. But if you keep this guaranteed up,
I just don't. That's one of the things that is so frustrating about soccer, right? Like, there are teams that are clearly
because you
better.
said that when they first faced in Hartford and Lou City tied 0-0.
I hate 0-0 ties
So,
too.
and that's the first time Hartford has avoided a loss against Lou City. So this is the Hartford's going to come into this especially if they pull out of this game against Rio, they're going to come into this like this is a team we could probably beat.
Well, I would understand why they would feel that way. Heading into the match, Louisville not playing their best, well documented as we have talked 100,000 times, right? Like that embarrassing loss to New Mexico last week, and then Miami midweek the week before that. So it's
which you guaranteed.
Yeah, I did guarantee that victory. So I just don't. I don't understand how Lou City, if they have championship aspirations, how if Coach Cruz can get anything out of his guys, how this result is anything less than a 2-1 victory for Lou City. That's the official prediction for me. Looking forward to seeing it 4-0 Hartford on Saturday night.
I think Lou is going to win this, but I'm not going to guarantee it. I think it's going to be like a 1-0 victory.
1-0 for John, 2-1 for me. Overall, it should be a pretty good weekend. John, let's jump over to our college ranks to close out today. A couple of teams were ranked in the NCAA standings, at least. The U of L men are back, or have fallen back down to 21 after last week. So in their matchups this week, they'll be ranked 21. But more impressively, the University of Kentucky women have finally made their debut in the top 25 of the U.S. soccer coaches poll, and they have debuted at number 18.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are the only ranked teams in the state. NAIA teams are still ranked, but the update did not drop yet. As of it's supposed to drop today, but they have not posted the link
Mm.
for the NAIA. So at least based off last rankings, let me double check these. The last rankings is Lindsey Wilson is 5th. Cumberland's is 19th in the men. Union is 21.
I don't understand how Union is so far down. They're undefeated.
They haven't really played many
They're
people.
9-0 though.
Yeah, but have they played ranked teams? Like Cumberland's has played ranked teams. These other schools have. Lindsey Wilson has played a ranked team. When you don't play ranked teams, i.e., Kentucky, besides playing South Carolina and then Alabama, doesn't matter how good you are. Like NKU women are playing good.
Mm-hmm.
They have some losses, but they haven't played like top tier teams either.
Right.
So if you're just playing also if you're feasting on lower tier to mid tier, you're not like a top 25. Or you're going to have to you're going to have to continue feasting to do that.
I mean, it comes back to, the whole BCS system for college football, right? Like, and that.
Oh, the women's has dropped.
Oh, okay. What do we got?
So the women's is actually up to date. Cumberland's is 3rd.
Wow.
They are also they are still Cumberland women are still undefeated, but the two teams above them are un or sorry, Cumberland women's are unbeaten. They have 2
Mm-hmm.
draws, whereas the two teams above them are undefeated.
Mm.
At 3rd, I'm not seeing any other Kentucky
Not even
schools in
center.
the top
Center
25.
women.
Nope, they're not even getting votes.
Wow. And they're
So
right outside of the top 5 in the Bluegrass Soccer Cast College Cup, but we'll get those here in just a minute.
So there you go.
Any of the high schools that you know, John? Any of them?
Oh yeah. Let me double check that one real quick here. High schools, if I could find it. Come on. Boys, because the only team we've ever had is the boys.
Mm-hmm.
Well, also low girls. No boys school, none even receiving votes.
Yikes.
And in terms of women, nope.
Mm.
None even receiving votes. There's a lot of Tennessee teams, but there is currently no Kentucky teams.
All right. So we'll do that, and we'll shift on over to my brain just melted. Our Bluegrass Soccer Cast College Cup updates. A very similar top 5 to last week, except the number 4 and 5 teams are actually tied. So clear number 1. This team is starting to pull away from it, and as long as they can continue this hot streak going on, Union College men undefeated, 9-0 on the season, 4 in-state victories, gives them a grand total of 39 points right now, and they are starting to put some separation between number 2, Campbellsville men, who are 9 wins, 2 losses, 1 tie overall with a 2 wins, 1 loss record in the state. That's good for 34 points. Number 3, we have the University of Kentucky women, 7-0, as John and I were talking about a little bit ago. 7-0 overall, 7 wins, 4 ties. Gosh, my brain is just not working. 2 in-state victories for a grand total of 30 points. And then we jump back into the 20s here for a tie for fourth place. So in fourth place per se, we have the University of Louisville men who are 7-1-1, 2-0 in the state, which is 28 points. And those two victories in state are what has bumped them ahead of the University of Cumberland's women, who are 8 wins and 2 draws, but only one interstate victory to this point. So that also gives them 28. Right outside of there, just kind of giving a little bit more perspective, we have two teams at 25 points: Center College women, Transylvania women, and then Asbury men and Kentucky Wesleyan men round out the top 10. So pretty good. And then at the very bottom, Alice Lloyd apparently dropped women's soccer, and two teams in the state have not yet registered a point, which is Kentucky Wesleyan women and Kentucky Christian women. Both teams are 0-8 and 0-9, respectfully.
All right, and for the Golden Boot, a bit of a shakeup. You have Calum Edwards of Union men leading the charge with 14 goals and 1 assist. This man has scored in 7 straight games. I think he scored a brace in 7 straight as well. Then you have Jordan Rhodes, who also has set, like I said, on Monday, is Kentucky's all-time leading scorer. She is at no, wait. I need to do tiebreaker stuff. You have Isabel White in second of Transy, and she's a Lex W League girl. She has 9 goals and 4 assists. Then you have Jaden Bolter of Cumberland Women's, who has 9 goals and 3 assists. Then you have Felix Bolbeng. I don't know how to say your last name. I'm sorry. Of Campbellsville, he has 9 goals with 2 assists, and then you have Jordan Rose rounding out the top 5, who has 9 of UK Women's, who has 9 goals and 1 assist. And then for saves, you have Christian Altzer of Kentucky Christian, who has 80 saves and 0 shutouts.
I just don't understand that. I was messaging you about that. How do you have 80 saves?
Because he allows 3.93 goals an appearance.
Holy God! In some ways, I'm impressed with the 80, but
he has no defense in front of him.
Who's in front of him? Swiss cheese? Like Jesus.
Then you have
Jesus is probably in front of him too, but
Ashby Greenwell of Brescia with 73.
Brescia.
Whatever. You have Gabby Duranson of Lindsay Wilson, who has 62. Chiara Isanto of Union Women, who has 61. And then rounding out the top 5 is Royce Henderson of Kentucky Christian Women, who has 59. Now, if you want like tiebreaker leaders or shutout leaders, you have Mars Josephson, who has 6. That's UK women's keeper, who only has 19 saves, though. And then it would be by shutouts. Then it would be Michaela Kowalski of NKU Women, who has 51 saves and 5 shutouts. Then Maddie Davis of WKU, who has 37 saves and 5 shutouts. Christian Hauge of Campbellsville, who has 25 saves and 4 shutouts. And then you have Ern Gibbs of Moorhead, who has 52 saves and 4 shutouts. But, like, it's very much defense. Like, the keepers who are making the most saves are not. Like, you have Kowalski and Gibbs, who are in who are in the top, like, 10. They're just outside the top 5. But, yeah. And like Maddie Davis is number 10 in terms of saves. So
yeah, I still just can't get over that. That one person has 80 saves but gives up 3.5 goals a game because their defense is literally the Holy Ghost, apparently. And John, with all of that out of the way for today, we will wrap things up for today and this week on the Bluegrass Soccer Cast. We want to thank you all so much for watching us here. Make sure that you follow us on all of our social media channels. That's our Instagram, our Twitter, our TikTok. Our handles for those are at BG Soccercast. And if you enjoy the show and you want to support us, we really appreciate it. We do have a Bias Coffee account. You can scan the QR code on the screen here or the one that lives right above my shoulder here. We always appreciate any and all contributions. And then lastly, here, make sure you're listening to our podcast on all your favorite podcasting platforms like Spotify, Google, YouTube, Apple, and so many other great platforms. When you're on those platforms, make sure you subscribe, follow, like, share, comment, engage in any way possible. Join our Discord as well. Just click on the pinned comment on our Twitter page. And, with all of that out of the way, I'm Jimmy, that's Jon, and we will see you on the next one.